The Sinaloa cartel is currently, right now, killing thousands of Americans every year. How? What's the single biggest smuggler of fentanyl into the United States? Did you know that? Probably not, because nobody talks about it. It's completely ignored in Washington. And that says everything about the priorities of both parties. Today, Mitch McConnell released an op-ed in the Washington Post denouncing the decision to withdraw troops from Syria. We can never leave Syria. It would be a, quote, grave mistake to leave Syria, Mitch McConnell tells us. But for 2 years, when the Republican Party had complete control over Congress and the White House, McConnell and the rest of his party, the Republican leadership, did nothing to secure our border, our actual border. If only the Kurds were battling a fentanyl epidemic, maybe then Washington would care about the real international crisis hurting Americans. Maybe then Mitt Romney would consider the crisis in Mexico worthy of his attention. We invited Romney on the show tonight to talk about it. He declined. Of course he declined. Derek Maltz is a former head of the DEA's Special Operations Division. He joins us tonight. Derek, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, Tucker.
From the video that has been coming in all day, I mean, what looks to be a profound crisis is unfolding in Mexico.
Right.
Are we overstating that?
Tucker, no. The Sicarios, the Sinaloa Sicarios took over the city. They put the city on fire. They're running around with armored cars, machine guns. They're killing people left and right. But the Mexican government folded. It's the blueprint now for all cartels in the future. Mitch McConnell should worry more about America and the safety and security of our people. Look what's happening to 32,000 people last year died from fentanyl. And a video is one of the guys pushing that poison into America. That's what matters, okay? That's the priority. But they can't focus. They don't know how to focus when we have this problem on our border and the poor people in Texas, Arizona, California, but it's all over America, Tucker. These cartels are a multi-billion-dollar enterprise, and they are taking over that country. And shame on the Mexican government. And by the way, Tucker, where was CMAR? CMAR is the Mexican elite Navy force that took down Chapo and killed a lot of high-value targets. They're on the bench. Cedenia's out there. They had this bad operation. They didn't plan it properly. They didn't coordinate properly. The U.S. agencies really didn't coordinate properly. It's a total mess, and it's an embarrassment to the country.
I don't understand how a war can take place, progress, explode in the country right next to ours. We've got millions of foreign nationals from that country living within our borders, and nobody says anything about it. There's no acknowledgement it's happening.
Tucker, also, I've been a very big advocate about declaring these cartels as terrorists. I know the president back in March was actually considering it. Unfortunately, the Beltway politics and the bureaucrats in the Beltway that are protecting their own kingdoms, they don't want to do it. But again, if you look at just the drug crisis alone, 68,000 people died in America last year. That's more than all these different wars and all these conflicts, and we're not doing anything about it. We're not taking a sense of urgency. We don't have a really good strategy. We're not educating the kids about the dangers of these chemicals coming from China, by the way. What people are not talking about, Tucker, is the Chinese organized crime and the Mexican cartels have formed an alliance that we've never seen in our entire history of this country. And China is not a big fan of America, right? They're a communist country. They're looking to destroy this country, but yet we're sleeping and worried about troops coming out of Syria. Thank God I lost a brother in this war in Afghanistan. Thank God the president took kids out of that country. What are we doing there?
It's a great question. Derek, thank you for that. Thanks for that.
Thank you, Tucker.
Doug McGregor is